I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say the N-word. Nilius. Alright, let's talk about Haos Nilius. Haos Titan Nilius, to be more precise. I'm going to be honest, HTN is really good right now. It's always been good. There are a lot of decks that try to get up to its maximum power. But the fact of the matter is that Haos Titan Nilius is just such a versatile deck that you can literally just have anything you want. Anything the meta calls for, as long as you have that Haos card pool and 3 of that wonderful 4-cost Evo, baby. And plus, with it utilizing the most powerful core type in the game, it's no wonder that Haos Titan Nilius has staked its claim for so freaking long in this quote-unquote metagame. I mean, we're 3 sets in. How do we not have a metagame? It's all speculation at this point. There are decks that are good, but not a metagame? However, one differentiator of a meta versus what decks are good is there would need to be tournaments. Tournaments that viably applicate the abilities of deck types, the abilities of the users, and the abilities of blah, 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 blah. Fact of the matter is, we don't really have any tournaments at the moment. Not really. There's an Invitational that's right around the corner, but that's about it. And there are speculations onto how that's going to be done in the first place anyway. They're thinking it's going to be done with new product, which would be very interesting because we technically just did get Age of Aurelus. So I have no idea what that could be. And if it is just new product, you're just going to see power creep boys pretty much. Unless there is like something that we haven't even seen yet, which I really don't think so. So, what's going to win the Invitational? I already have my bet, because if you think about it, HTN is the most versatile deck that we have right now. Power Creep Boys is really good early game, and thanks to Hydronoid, the beautiful monster himself, it has a fairly decent late game. But any smart player will just take that hit from Hydronoid and then deal with maybe an Evo from Cubbo and 1350 from Nobilius. Any smart player will just take that Hydronoid hit, because if the Power Creep Boy doesn't use the Hydronoid to set up that team attack, like, you don't have to worry about that Hydronoid. You can just steamroll, especially if you're running the Ventus HTN build, which runs not only Haos Nilius, which is crazy on his own rights, but Ventus Pegatrix when landing on a magic shield. She gets up to 2350 or something like that. So you have 2 big boys that even rival Hydronoid without using a single action card, which is kind of the appeal of what Power Creep Boys is. So, and the Ventus Pegatrix, I think, is a 3-cost, so, like, it's really good for what it is. Mid-game, Haos Titan Nilius takes the cake by far. And plus, like, Nobilius, the only person that's doing, like, mad damage is gonna be maybe Cubbo. Because Nobilius does 2, Hydronoid does 2, unless they take advantage of that +6 damage core, you're not in that much of a tight spot, are you? So, there are other decks going around that might take the Invitational as well. We're gonna say this theoretically as if the new draft thing is not a thing that possibly might happen. Who knows? But I'm going to use my previous knowledge of what I know, or else this video will be 2 minutes long. And we're gonna talk about what possibly could take it. So, as I said, we're gonna stop, get on the HTN train, even though you have access to Pyrus, Aquos, and Ventus, which are some of the craziest engines in the world, and you can kind of utilize it any way you want. The build with Ventus usually runs Ventus, Aquos, Haos, and the Pyrus. You use the Power Creep Boys in HTN. Like my build, I'm running the Ventus variant just because I don't want to swap cards in between the 2 decks that I have all the time, just so maybe I can have other people play with me. So I have to avoid using Pyrus like the plague, because that's super fuel as a card, unfortunately, right? So I run Pyravian because, honestly, having that extra magic shield, like the 4, is really good. Because if you save HTN for your team attack, you're more than likely, if you landed on magic shield all those other times, you're not going to have another magic shield to straunch and put on your guy. Granted, you could maybe take one of your opponents if you're running into a bunch of power creeps, which is more than likely the case, but that's not really practical to make a deck build focused on what your opponent may or may not have. Because what if you hit the rogue shield deck or the green fist deck is that going around? I don't think it is anymore. The highest Haos Pegatrix hits is like 850. And then like the Evo is a 4 cost, and by then you have HTN, so who cares? So like the Ventus doesn't use it for ramping. It mainly uses it for Pegatrix and Nature's Power, and that's as much as you put in the deck. But like the Pyrus variant has Super Fuel, so you can have a turn 2 HTN just staring you down, just flexing its muscles. It just waits for you to land with it, just to slap whatever comes into its path. Like, he's ridiculous. I'm sorry. It was a BB Bakugan. Like, this has been a threat since the first set. Bars. So, what else? There's a surprising amount of people talking about bringing Pyrus Surtburn, which, if you don't know, it's a BR Evo that when he's a 5 cost, so he's a pretty penny, and you land on a Fire Fist and you do automatic 5 burn damage to your opponent. So that deck utilizes a bit of stall techniques and maybe a bunch of rerolls. Definitely a bunch of rerolls. I don't know what I'm talking about. With Shun, just draw, reroll, reroll. And as long as you don't miss 5 of the 7 rerolls that you do, like I do, you win. Uncontested. Like, you don't even have to win the fight. And you can even just lose the fight so that you can re-roll the Pyrus Serpentees. It's kind of stupid, but also sort of gimmicky. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually stakes a claim in the tournament. If this is done right. And I'm giving a lot of credit to the people that were invited. I'm not throwing shade at any which way, but a lot of these YouTubers that are invited, barring some that I interact with frequently, that I know for sure are going to be bringing a competitive deck, it's up in the wind what they may bring. They may bring that rogue green fist that I was talking about. They may bring the rogue shield. They may just put a bunch of Bakugan that they think look cute, or cool, or rad, or their favorite one since the original one, which is few and far between. I think we got Dragonoid and Hydronoid, and I think that's it. It's really going to be interesting to see what is brought to this Invitational, and this is assuming that this is going to not be new product only, rip out the packs, take a whiff of them new cards, baby. Like, given that that's not the case, I'm hoping that it's not. Another deck, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this one yet because it's pretty good. It's a pretty good guy. And I might do a separate video on him alone. But Aurelus Trox is a big boy that possibly could be making a big splash in the competitive scene because Age of Aurelus just recently came out, and one of the things that came out with it happens to be something that completely enables Aurelus Trox to just OTK, to just completely destroy someone in one move, and their opponent can't do a thing about it. Because Clone Army is a 2-cost card that says for every card that you activated previous to this one, your Bakugan gets a +1 Frost Strike. And the thing about Trox is he loves it when things activate on him, because then he gets plus 304 damage, I think, as long as you have Aurelus Trox, Hyper. Even if you don't, I think the base one does it just the same. I think the only difference is it doesn't have Shadow Strike. But there's that too. Like, you're not going to mitigate any damage. You know, you're not going to be able to save your hide by activating Curse of Darkness. Like, Serp players just lose because their setup is just so slow. And they can't defend against that. They have all the flips and all the neg damage stuff in the world. Even Mono Ventus just dies to that thing. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It plays similar to the way that Pyrus Serpentees does because it facilitates all these rerolls into its game mechanic to where your main goal is to just abuse the way Hypertrox just eats up all those extra cards that you use, and you basically do the same thing where you activate Song of Fire just to have more energy for that turn so you can keep using stuff, and Shun allows you to draw, and then you reroll. Deep Dive allows you to draw more. You're just drawing so that your Trox just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Song of Fire again, 5 more energy, clean slate. Boom, 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 boom. And then when you're ready to just destroy them with 37 damage, you activate Clone Army. And then your frickin' Trox has like 7 or 8 damage or Frost Strike on board, and your opponent just goes, okay, this is like turn 4, so I guess I lose. Like, I can't do it even if I wanted to. Even a free one, even Pact of Darkness loses to it. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I think that is I'd very much like to see Aurelus Trox, but I feel like we're yet to perfect it as well, just because the combo can be so finicky, because it does rely on that Evo, same as Pyrus Serpentees. So, I guess even, like, any deck relies on the Evo that it represents, even HTN to an extent. Like, you don't want to get stuck on that Haos and Ilias base form. That's kind of poopy. So, I know Pyrus Serpentees uses Dark Fortune just because it's a 5-cost Evo, and it's not really that bad to use a 3-cost to search. I feel if Dark Fortune was a 2-cost, it'd see a lot more relevant gameplay, but the fact of the matter is 3 is just too much. It's just too much. Like, if it was 4, no one would be playing it. It's absolute trash. But 2, oh, that would have been perfect. That would have been absolutely unfortunate, because a lot of the best Evos are 2-cost anyway, so just draw the frickin' thing. And Aurelus Trox, unfortunately, you can't really use Dark Fortune in that strategy because it's too much, and you're trying to kill around turn 3 anyway, so you don't want to waste your time drawing it, and you have all that draw power with Shun and Deep Dives anyway, like same as Serp, but I don't know, it's 2 different monsters, you know what I mean? Serp thrives in that late game, while Trox is just really trying to just accumulate its resources as fast as possible and blow you out with it. Now, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. The best deck of the format. The undeniable GOAT! Pyrus Howlkor, baby! Pyrus Howlkor Fury! Hell yeah! Nothing says Fury more than having 3 Evos that cost 4 or more in your hand. Hell yeah! That is the best, undeniable deck in the format right now, and I will fight you if you say otherwise. I'll destroy you. I'll find you outside locals and I'll just chin check you. You cannot deny that 25 damage just by having no cards in your hand is ultimately the best deck idea ever. It's the best strategy. It's the best. There's no denying. Hey, and then I activate Turt to discard my hand. I didn't need those cards anyway. They're stupid. And then I just team attack for like 56. Yes. Take that, Haos Titan Ilias. Just don't exceed over 1500 B power, please, so I can just win for free. Heck yeah. I'll win against anybody. I don't care. You're on my list. And then, turn 2. I set for energy. I activate Shade Blade, Super Fuel Song of Fire, Howlkor. Boom! 1500, 25 damage, 29 damage, sorry. Turn 2, undeniable skill, I'm the best. 3-card combo, can't beat it, can't beat it. Get deleted, get skeeted, get yeeted, die. Best deck in the game. Best deck in the entire game. There's no denying. Aurelus Trox? Who's that? Aurelus Hydroid? Don't care. Cubbo? Nobilius? More like Snubbo and Stupidius. So... Ow. My point is, I better see a Pyrus Howlkor at the Invitational, or else I'll just have to show up myself. Another deck that actually might make a splash that I completely forgot about until now is Diamond Pegatrix, which is a contender to the big boss monsters that is Haos Titan Nilius and Aurelus Titan Hydronoid Ultra. Which is very interesting because its whole ability relies on it landing on 2 or more cores. So you use a lot of the Haos things where you grab a core, Mega Punch, haha hee hee, and you use frickin' Consort, this one, in order to get him up to, I think it's more. I think it might be more than both of them, but the same thing. But unfortunately, he's 5. Unfortunately, she's 5. And it's another Magic Shield deck. Who would have guessed? Wow! I love seeing Magic Shield decks. They're not at all everywhere or annoying to see constantly. Love it. Okay. See ya.